Imagine the streets of Birmingham in the late 1940s. Industrial smoke hangs low, the factories roar, and children play among the rubble of post-war England. It is here, on December 3, 1948, that John Michael Osbourne is born. But the world would come to know him as Ozzy, a man whose life would become as wild, chaotic, and legendary as the music he would one day create. Ozzy grew up in Aston, a working-class neighborhood that demanded toughness from everyone who walked its streets. His father, Jack, worked as a toolmaker, and his mother, Lillian, cleaned houses to make ends meet. From the beginning, life was hard, structured, and unforgiving. School offered little respite. Ozzy was dyslexic, struggled academically, and often found himself on the wrong side of authority. He was small, fragile, and awkward, yet possessed a restless energy that refused to be contained. Music became his escape, though in those early days, it was more instinct than craft. As a teenager, Ozzy discovered the raw power of rock and roll. Bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones opened doors in his imagination, but it was the heavier, darker sounds emerging in the late 60s that captured his attention. He became obsessed with blues, hard rock, and eventually the emerging heavy metal scene. He formed bands, played small venues, and endured rejection after rejection, never quite finding a sound that felt like his own. Then came the fateful meeting that would change everything. In the late 1960s, Ozzy joined a band that would define an era, Black Sabbath. Alongside Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, Ozzy helped create a sound that was heavier, darker, and more intense than anything the world had heard. Their music was born from the industrial gloom of Birmingham, imbued with themes of war, despair, and occult imagery. Yet, it was undeniably human. The debut album, Black Sabbath, released in 1970, shocked audiences. The title track, with its crushing riffs and ominous tones, sounded like the voice of the underworld. Yet, it came from a working-class boy who had barely survived school. Ozzy quickly became the voice of a generation, his vocals simultaneously haunting and primal. He did not sing technically. He screamed, moaned, and intoned in a way that made listeners feel the weight of every lyric. Songs about darkness, madness, and chaos became anthems, capturing the disillusionment of youth in the industrial world. Black Sabbath toured relentlessly. The road was long, dangerous, and intoxicating. Alcohol and drugs were constant companions. Ozzy embraced the lifestyle with reckless abandon, his behavior both legendary and terrifying. By the late 1970s, the pressure of fame, touring, and substance abuse took its toll. Ozzy's erratic behavior strained relationships with bandmates. Yet his charisma and singular presence kept the band alive. It was during this period that Ozzy earned his nickname, the Prince of Darkness, not just for the music, but for the persona he embodied. A mixture of mischief, chaos, and theatrical rebellion. Fans adored him. Critics sometimes scorned him, but no one could ignore him. In 1979, after years of rising tension, Ozzy was fired from Black Sabbath. He was devastated, yet he refused to fade away. He embarked on a solo career, and with the help of guitarist Randy Rhoads, redefined himself. Albums like Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman combined technical brilliance with Ozzy's signature raw intensity. Songs like Crazy Train became instant classics, the opening riff as recognizable as his voice itself. Rhoads' guitar work gave Ozzy a new dimension, elevating his music while allowing his eccentric personality to shine. Yet, Ozzy's life offstage was as chaotic as ever. His drug use escalated, resulting in dangerous incidents, brushes with the law, and near-death experiences. Fans watched as he struggled publicly, yet somehow kept producing music that was vibrant, electric, and deeply personal. He became a figure both feared and revered. The world seemed certain that his excesses would destroy him, yet he survived. Ozzy's fame entered a new realm in the early 2000s with the reality television series The Osbournes. Watching him in the chaos of his family home, bickering with his wife Sharon, teasing his children, mumbling through incomprehensible sentences, introduced him to a whole new generation. It revealed a softer, ridiculous, human side to the man who had terrified audiences for decades. Fans laughed, sympathized, and loved him even more. The show cemented his status as a cultural icon far beyond music. Throughout his life, Ozzy endured tragedy and hardship. He battled addiction, faced serious illnesses, and suffered multiple accidents, including a quad bike crash in 2003 that left him gravely injured. He lost friends and bandmates, and yet through every setback, he returned to music, touring and recording with a tireless energy that belied his age. His resilience became part of the legend. He was the man who stared into the darkness and kept walking. Ozzy Osbourne's influence on music cannot be overstated. He shaped the heavy metal genre, inspired countless artists, and created a persona that combined fearlessness, vulnerability, and charisma. His life story is a study in extremes, brilliance and chaos, comedy and tragedy, brilliance and danger. Few have lived as publicly, as intensely, and as unapologetically as he has. Even in recent years, Ozzy has continued to perform, defy expectations, and embrace life with the same reckless energy that defined his youth. His voice, once raw and primal, still carries the weight of decades, telling stories of survival, rebellion, and the human spirit. The Prince of Darkness has become, paradoxically, a symbol of endurance. Ozzy Osbourne's story is more than a tale of music and excess. It is the story of a man born into hardship, shaped by the industrial streets of Birmingham, transformed by talent, obsession, and willpower, and immortalized by the audacity to live life on his own terms. He took risks that few could imagine, faced demons both internal and external, and emerged not just as a survivor, but as a legend. When you hear the opening chords of Crazy Train or see the iconic imagery of his late 70s and 80s performances, remember the journey behind the spectacle. A dyslexic boy from a working-class neighborhood, a young man terrified and exhilarated by the stage, and a performer who became one of the most enduring icons in the history of rock. Ozzy Osbourne's life reminds us that survival, artistry, and audacity often come at a cost, but the rewards are timeless. He was the man who laughed at danger, who screamed at the world, who lived fully and unpredictably, and for millions of fans across generations, he remains a figure of fascination, inspiration, and relentless energy. The Prince of Darkness is, in many ways, a man who refused to die, not just physically, but in the imagination of anyone who has ever cranked up the volume, thrown their hands in the air, and let his music take over. Ozzy Osbourne's life is the ultimate story of chaos, creativity, and survival, a testament to the enduring power of rebellion, resilience, and the human spirit.